Hi everyone, Jenna Kramer here, and I wanted to follow up with some of the work we did on Friday related to learning targets. So if you prefer to watch the video over reading the email, that's totally fine. I sent an email to you related to some of the things that I wanted to share. One thing I didn't share on purpose was the term related to that second part of the learning target, which describes how students will show that they can hit the target or if they weren't able to hit the target. And that is actually called the performance of understanding. So again, sometimes we get caught up in the words and terminology, and for me it was more important that you knew what it was. Oftentimes it's going to be a formative or sometimes even summative activity that you're doing with students in class. So that was more important to me that you knew what it was instead of the fancy name for it. As we move forward, however, when we read articles, we're going to see that term come up. So it's important that we have that common definition. The other thing that I made an announcement at the high school was in relation to what if you have a longer period of time with students. For example, at the high school we have 85-minute blocks. It's okay to have multiple learning targets. You still want them to be concise, and there's that part where you want to be able to give students feedback on if they hit the target or not. So you're going to have some sort of assessment. Again, it could be formative or summative, but it's very difficult to do that right and have more than 3 total. So I'm going to kind of limit it at try to have 3 or fewer learning targets for each block. I know that for some of you, this might have been a shift in thinking about how we communicate our standards and our curriculum to students. But in my opinion, I really feel like the learning targets are going to make a bigger impact on students than us sharing standards. So if you are somebody who has previously shared the teacher standards with students as a way of setting a purpose for the learning or how it connects back to the curriculum, I would suggest that you instead really focus on learning targets and sharing those, and those will be more easily comprehensible to students anyway. So I don't think it's bad that we used to share our standards. It's just it was difficult for students to really wrap their head around those, and I mean rightly so because they're intended for teachers. So the other thing I wanted to extend an invitation to teachers, and I just want you to know that I'm here to support the work that you're doing. So let me know if you'd like to write some learning targets moving forward, and we're going to base them off of your standards. So it's actually really interesting and fun for me to see what things are going on in all the different classrooms at all the different levels. So although I'm not at the elementary or primary school, I got a lot of practice on Friday, even with 4K. So if you would like my assistance or input, please reach out to me. So in parting, I really do believe that learning targets can help us improve our instruction. And although, like I shared briefly, I know it's a new way of thinking about our curriculum and how we're communicating that to students, I do think it's going to have a big impact on helping them become more self-motivated and knowing what our expectations are. So I saw a lot of the work that you had done previously with your curriculum, and we're all starting from a really strong place as far as having that solid curriculum. Now I think we're just working on how are we going to share our expectations with students, and for me that's really coming back to this idea of learning targets. So I do have a survey that I would like you to fill out in the email. If you scroll down, I have a hyperlink to it. It looks like this. And it's really simple. It's 3 questions. How did it go? You can tell me the good things. How could it have been better? You can tell me the areas that we can make improvements. And then this third one is really related to you reflecting on one of the guiding questions that I posed. What impact will learning targets have on your instruction? The other thing that I'm sharing in the email that you might want to check out is a little gift. It is a resource that I found online related to formative assessments. And so there are 60 different tools that you could possibly use as performance of understandings. So that is my gift to you. Thanks for either reading the email or watching this video, and I hope you all have a great week. Happy homecoming!